beloved acts in the eyes of Allah. This is a beautiful hadith,
Mm.
and hopefully we can, personify that in our own life. One of the most
I mean,
beloved a'mal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to bring happiness to a person, is to bring a smile on their face.
alhamdulillah.
وَلَوْ كَانَ بِوَجْهٍ طَلِقٍ. Prophet says, give charity, even if it's through a good face, being looking good, looking
Smile.
happy, smile. Like, it's not just your lips are smiling, it's your whole body that's smiling.
Right. They'll be
And
like, yeah,
smile,
make your heart smile.
make your heart smile.
Right.
It's contagious. Grief and
Allahu
sadness is
Akbar.
contagious. Happiness is contagious. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ هَلُوعًا. People are
Mm.
made, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says human beings are made to always feel anxious, always feel
Mm.
like something's being taken away from them. This
Yes.
is not a quality of a believer. The quality of a believer is not always to feel afraid of what's going to happen to him. The quality of a believer is that he knows that these things are in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we do what we can at the best we can. The quality of a munafiq is يَحْسَبُونَ كُلَّ صَيْحَةٍ عَلَيْهِمْ. They think that every scream and every next move is against them. Like,
Right.
oh, that's against me. Oh, they're trying to come after me. And a believer makes his effort.
Yes.
وَسَعَى لَهَا. He's going
Mm.
hard. She's
Yes.
really working, and then they're trying to get things done, and they're not worried about what's going on around them. Allah says a believer is a person that al-mu'min, the Prophet says al-mu'minu ma'laf. A believer is what we could say like a social hub. Like,
Mm. Yes, yes,
وَلَا
yes,
خَيْرٌ
yes,
مَنْ لَا
yes,
يَأْلَفُ وَلَا يُؤْلَفُ.
yes.
There's no
Yep.
goodness in how a person can spread it around and not bring happiness, right? And not bring
Yes.
goodness. Everyone wants to be, but Omar, reality is everyone wants to be happy at home and be content
Yes.
at home, but no one wants to be a source of contentment and happiness for others, right?
And now I'm gonna say this one thing too, because what you're saying, you bringing me to something I've been studying about. We don't translate it enough, right? But Islam, right? So I've been studying. It's interesting that I've been studying this word because the root of the word is salam, is peace, right? When you peace, you're at peace, and it has all of these other different byproducts of happiness,
Mm.
And so we're not taught, like I'm finding, and you guys are more knowledgeable than me, but
Mm.
I'm sharing it out there for everyone, and for my own corrections. I'm finding that English is not really helping us understand. So in the ayat, in the dina in the Allah al Islam, right? I've been studying this. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Um, this here, the deen with Allah is Islam, al Islam, right? So al Islam, and I'm looking at alif lam is the definite article for the,
Mm.
right, and then the aleph is an action,
Mm.
right, and so then the salam is so the aleph would make this is an act of doing
The
something, and the
positive, yeah.
salam, right, is the noun, and so then to me, I'm translating that and says, "Be the peace, al
Mm.
Islam, to be the peace." And so, if we're living al Islam, we are the peace. And I'm
Mm.
looking at, wow, that kind of makes sense, because if you are at peace with whatever Allah puts you through,
Mm.
Allah tests us with, challenges. If we look at the example of the Prophet ﷺ, whatever Allah put him through, he had to run for his life walk from Mecca to Medina, and all of these different challenges. But maintaining what we talked about earlier, coming full circle with the calmness and that peace of knowing that it's all up to Allah. Allah has written everything, so no matter what happens, it's up to the Creator, regardless. So if we maintain be the peace, and what Muslim means is you are a person that's maintaining that peace within yourself, first and foremost, between whatever Allah has written that He challenged you with, and then also you're spreading the peace among everybody else.
Mm.
Yep.
Which why we say Salamu alaikum. I'm wishing peace upon you, man. Peace about your family, everything about you. Peace, peace, peace. I want that for you. And what it means now, it's not giving that meaning because we're so used to saying it. So it's very, we
Yeah.
become
Going back to what
distracted.
you're saying, you can only give that what you have. So a person has
Mm.
peace from the right source. I believe that. This is still a raw thought that I've been fiddling with, and I think it still requires some more research.
I can make your raw thought and solidify. Go ahead, Mufti
So,
Sahib.
the idea, but Omar, you know he's my elder brother, right? If you didn't know that, the way you treat
I
me,
didn't
right?
know. I didn't
Oh,
know.
you didn't know that? Okay,
Yeah, I take full advantage
full
of you over
advantage
here.
of it, He's the eldest of five, so he has it going. You know what I'm saying?
I like this raw thought. I see Salima has a question for me too, but I like this raw thought. I must
Well,
learn this.
I want to make sure we answer that question before we leave today. But
Okay.
the raw thought is like, so if we take anything from a source, whatever we take comes from a source. If that source, like for example, if I'm working for GM, if GM closes down, I don't have a job. If I'm working for Ford closes down, I have a job. Microsoft. So everything is connected to its asl, its source. I'd say that Imam Ghazali has this discussion in a book called Arba'in fi Usul al-Din, where he says, if a person is seeking happiness, joy, contentment, peace, serenity, what source do they get? What source do they take it from? And based on that source, that joy and happiness will remain. If that source is coming from a temporal place, then that happiness is also temporary. If that source is coming from a place that is temporary, so it's also that happiness and that joy, that peace will also be temporary. The only happiness, true happiness, is happiness that comes from an everlasting place. And the only everlasting thing in the world is Allah. So if we bring happiness, joy, peace, serenity from an everlasting source, from an omnipresent source, from an ever-existing source, Al-Hayyul Qayyum, then that peace, that serenity will be contagious. But if it's coming
Drop
from
the mic.
Yeah, man. Drop the mic.
From a
True. True. Mufti Wahab. Look at him. The man's name is love. I love it.
Well, if it's coming from a source that is dependent itself, then when that source leaves you, you also lose the quality. We're not giving peace because of anything else, but we're giving it because Allah is giving it to us.